Hello, broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. The solar system planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of the 2026 NFL Draft. My name is Brian Engelman, and today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, well, it's called the TNAM Daily Show. TNAM Daily Show. What does that stand for? TNAM, of course, stands for the New American Media, because the old American media has failed you. They failed me, so I started this. And then we created the TNAM Daily Show, where we scroll through what's going on. We try to talk about important stories. We try to have a few jokes. We try to deal with really angering situations. We aim for humor where we can find it, because, man, say we're a bunch of trash pandas over here, a bunch of raccoons rifling through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. It's a lot sometimes. So yeah, we're going to try to find the joke when we can find one. And that's what we appreciate all of you showing up for. We'll pull the chat up on the screen in a moment, but consider this to be me, Brian, the bartender, as I've been many different places throughout my lifetime. We're going to talk about the stories that other people are talking about on the news. We can agree to disagree. We don't need to be disagreeable just because we disagree on some topics. We're all going to disagree on some things. Let's have a mostly civil conversation about it. Okay? I'm asking for intellectual curiosity, clever humor, wit, timing, but, in general, a little bit of respect. Keep it mostly civil. I know we all get a little fired up sometimes. How could you not watch some of these awful stories? Because let's just face it, we're talking about what people are talking about, and there's some terrible stuff we got to deal with. But in order to be an adult, you got to do adult stuff. And being able to identify behavior that cannot continue and ensure that we can protect ourselves from the chronic abusers, the people who continuously, repeatedly prove that they are not general population material. We have stories that are just very challenging to get through. We'll just say that. But we're adults. We got to get through it. Maybe not dwell on it. Maybe not get too fired up about it. I know some of my regulars will be like, vibes check. And I'll be like, all right, fine. But you get it. Like, the news can really be used as a weapon. And it has been. And that's the story of the Southern Poverty Law Center. Conjuring up the creation, the straw man, the false flag, the what do you want to call it? When a group that allegedly fights racism. You mean perpetuates anti-white racism. Hold on, continue. When they're literally funding KKK groups, Unite the Right, Charlottesville. It's the Jussie Smollett-ification of the Democrat Party. The LeBron James, somebody sprayed graffiti all over my garage, but the video cameras didn't show anything, and there's no pictures, and there's no proof because we cleaned it up immediately. Sure you did. Anyone remember that, Gem? January 6th, a mostly peaceful protest. And how many people on the inside with Pelosi and Schumer and Pence and the whole crew, how many of them orchestrated that self-guided tour through the Capitol? So that you could use the word insurrection 1 quadrillion times to try to paint a picture that didn't happen. Had the president called to go get Congress and bring them out to the lawn, alive and unharmed. Imagine what would have happened had the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, on January 6th said something along those lines. I think that day would have went very differently. But that never was what was said. But they lied about it. Oh, come on. It's not like they'd lie about something President Trump said. SPLC, the Fine People Hoax, the most divisive, fake, racist political hoax of all time. The Fine People Hoax. We played you yesterday 4 instances of the 4 CNN talking heads. Don Lemon, maybe Stelter, I don't know, to Jake Tapper, I don't know, a few faces. And they all, hold on. I think I'm getting the footage now. All right, let's see this thing, the Unite the Right. What is going on with torches and tikis? Yes, it's America's greatest threat. White supremacy. Right, got it. Thank you, SPLC. You know what the SPLC did? They were the ones setting the guidelines of outlets like the New American Media. Could we exist on Twitter, X? Could we exist on YouTube, Google? Could we exist on Facebook, Instagram, Meta? And I'll tell you that answer is no. We had our accounts deleted, demonetized, shadow banned, deranked, deboosted, and you've been messing with our numbers ever since. So we've continued trying to have a conversation here because I believe that we should be allowed to have challenging, interesting, funny conversations through which we will gain wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We'll maybe catch some false narratives going on out there. Like if you don't generally agree with our show, that's fine. Like stay mostly civil and drop some points. Like, hey, I don't think you're quite right on that point. Like we can sort some stuff out. We're learning together. I've never once pushed a story to you that I've known to be false. And the Fine People Hoax pushed by Obama, Biden, Harris, basically every major Democrat, along with most of the lying legacy media of CNN. Remember Chris Wallace repeated the Fine People Hoax, the very first question out of his mouth against Joe Biden in the debates with Fox? That's when I decided I was done watching Fox. Fuck Fox. Are you kidding me? Every other outlet, rabid anti-Trump, ridiculously pro-Democrat or pro-Biden. And Fox was supposed to be the one alternative to all of that, and they came out doing the exact same thing that CNN was lying about, that Obama lied about, that Harris lied about, that Joe Biden lied about. The Fine People Hoax. That story in Charlottesville was that there was something in their city somewhere. There was a statue, some remembrance that you'll find in parks. And some group said, we demand that comes down, or we're going to destroy it. Where'd that group come from? Who funded them? Who organized that? Now, where did the Unite the Right rally come from? Who organized that? Who funded that? And did they toss a scorpion and a tarantula inside of a terrarium, put the lid on, and just shook it up? Maybe took a scoop of fire ants and tossed it in there, shook it up, and just watched. The SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, put a target on Charlie Kirk, trying to make him synonymous with the KKK. The SPLC. Indicted. Overdue. This better not be the last. There is one exit ramp before complete destruction. Look at what CIA asset Abigail Spanberger did to Virginia. And now, by the way, a judge has said, no, you can't redistrict it like that. Stop. That's halted. We're not certifying. Nope. Court order. Maybe that will be redone, reversed. The Democrats are desperate and they are willing to sacrifice everything, burn it all down, and govern over the ashes. They must not be trusted with power ever again, anywhere, because this is the type of shit that they're up to. And then what's the pushback? No. We were looking for, we had informants. We were paying people to go undercover so they could find stuff. Were you now? Because you've been lying about hoaxes for a long time, and it sort of makes me question your credibility there, sweetheart. I don't think so. You do not get a benefit of the doubt here. Absolutely not. So this is a big development. We covered it extensively on yesterday's show. We'll talk about it a little bit more today. But John Thune has got to go, just like Kevin McCarthy did. I don't understand what's taking so long, just like the grand conspiracy. I don't understand what's taking so long. Why is this taking so long? 5 Republican senators. What is it, 17 or 27 people in a closed-door session to replace as leader of the Senate. This guy doesn't get it. It's April 23rd, and he still hasn't passed the Save America Act. You pass the Save America Act. That's not a question. It's a command. This is the last exit we have to save this thing. The bus is headed off of the cliff. And some people are lying to you because they're making a bunch of money doing it. And some people making a bunch of money doing it don't quite realize the role that they're playing. And some of them do. And whether they say it out loud or not, I would bet most of them know the deal that they made. I mean, come on. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. No, they don't. No. But John Thune, staying in session so that President Trump can't make recess appointments, makes zero sense unless you're okay with the other side running the Senate. What is taking so long? This is not rocket science. This is not controversial. This is not fringe. This is not Looney Tune extremist ideology. This is either you've built the house by the deadline or you haven't done the job. You're either incapable of doing the job or unwilling to do the job. Which is it? You have the numbers and you're not doing it. Why are you not doing it? You have the open account at the facility to gather the materials. The plans are set. All you need to do is build the house. All you need to do is build the house. Build the house. Why is John Thune not building the house? Is it that the delivery truck has a bad axle and it's not roadworthy, so they literally can't go pick up the materials? They think there's a couple Republicans that are going to vote no on this and block it. Put them on the fucking record. Do it. I don't want a single excuse. Put every one of them on the record. And if there's any concession you have to make, not Elizabeth Warren, Alaska, what's Murkowski? I mean, if they're a golem type creature, if you've ever seen one. I just feel as though her personality has become her. Like Victoria Nuland used to be young and beautiful and full of life. And now after what she did to destroy Ukraine, you can see the gargoyle that her countenance has become. Lisa Murkowski has said it's going to be tough with the Save America Act. We have a lot of people in very rural areas. Okay. Then make a fucking carve out and say we're going to give $7 million to hire local people to pick up some extra work. We're going to pay you $50 an hour to be on your motorbike, your ATV or I don't know, snowmobile, to go. We will target every person that doesn't get regular mail service out here in the wilderness, and we will make sure that we deliver. We have a process. We'll have it on camera. You'll do the thumbprint right in front of us. It'll all be on like a head camera. We'll just show up, and everybody will confirm who they are, and they'll cast their vote. I suspect Lisa Murkowski's lying about that, or she's trying to get some of that carve-out funding so that she can bring some pork, bring some bacon back to the people at home. Either way, the job of the leader of the Senate is to fucking make it happen. Oh my God, get to work. Do the thing. Well, it's going to be hard. So fucking do it. Oh my God. The awful stuff that the Democrats were able to do. Obamacare notwithstanding. Obamacare, even just set that aside. You ram it through, you use as many administrative maneuvers as possible. If they're maneuvers, they're legal. They're legal moves in the game of chess if you can do the move. If you can do the move, do the move. The Democrats do the move, and they do bad things. Republicans can do good things, but they say, I don't want to use the rules that are available to me. I don't want to have the vote and push this legislation forward by having the vice president cast the tying vote and a cloture or a talking filibuster or a standing filibuster, whatever the fuck it is, just do it. Leader Thune either cannot do it, he's incapable, or he's compromised and he will not do it. Either way. Next. What are we waiting for? You're telling me there's not 5 ideologically aligned Republicans in the Senate that can just make this happen? What are we doing? What are we waiting for? And I think that's the biggest frustration that the people who put President Trump back into office for this second term, you go, where is the justice? SPLC is a domino. That domino needs to end. Well, not end. It needs to click over to social media right now and get to the bottom of what they did to make sure that places like the New American Media. Oh, I don't have that on the screen. There you go. Corner of the screen now. They made sure that places like the New American Media could not grow, could not earn ad revenue, could not succeed, could not thrive, could not expand, could not operate in the realm of business. Silenced, sidelined. So the SPLC thing is a big thing. And I just want to make sure that we're all aware of that. The SPLC thing is a big thing. And we covered it a lot on yesterday's program. We also talked about David Wilcock. May he rest in peace. We played the interview I had with him, just a few minutes with David Wilcock. Maybe I'll play it again coming up on the show. He was gracious with his time. He was one of the more interesting people to listen to. Man, oh man, you talk for that many hours. I mean, you're going to have disagreements with whatever. People have... I've scrolled past a few posts of people who claimed they didn't want to dance on David, but they really disliked him. So that's a pretty strong emotion. I felt that. I could understand that for maybe Fauci, who I hold directly responsible for my brother leaving this realm too soon, medical malfeasance. The pressure campaign to stop monoclonal antibodies, the pressure campaign to scare doctors away from properly prescribing the correct dosages of ivermectin. I could understand some energy for people like that. Definitely could. But John Thune pushing this stuff forward. The lack thereof needs to change. Remove Thune now. Also, what's going to happen when you retrieve Iranian nuclear dust? Well, they have signatures. There's some sort of Breaking Bad chemistry or biology, geology, investigative molecular level stuff where it leaves its fingerprint. And the story is that whether it's uranium one with Hillary Clinton, whether it's the pallets of cash with Barack Hussein Obama, that it's the Democrat Party that's responsible for the nuclear materials that were taken offline by President Trump, the commander-in-chief, in his second term. There's stories that Venezuela is linked to voting machines and rigging and manipulation and theft, a coup and treason. Those rumors have been out there for a long time. Is Venezuela connected to the grand conspiracy? Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, the new guy? A lot of frustration. People saying, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Why is John Thune not doing this? Why is he doing that? Why is he blocking the appointments? Why isn't he advancing this? What's taking so long? What's taking so long? We're burning daylight. You know, that is a common thread that we have here on the TNAM Daily Show. But I think it's important that we connect the dots with the SPLC, the evil, most fake, racial, racist, divisive. Yeah, there you go. Racist and divisive. Anyway. The SPLC, the Democrats, the lying legacy media, their role in the most divisive, false, racist, political hoax in human history, the Fine People hoax, they all played a role. And those are the same people that made sure my company, my voice could not get to you, and that we certainly couldn't earn a living doing it. Pressing down on the scales of justice to keep us in some sort of glass ceiling, can't break through. But now there's a few places you can support the New American Media directly. One is on Patreon. Go there directly, set it and forget it. You can do like a few bucks a month. We post twice a month usually. That's a direct way to fund us and cutting out YouTube, Meta, Google, Instagram, Facebook, X. We do have Rumble and YouTube subscriptions. Set it and forget it. Set your price point. You say, you know what? I appreciate that for 15 years you guys have been digging into stuff. And by the way, doing other types of content. Make sure you check out our Strictly Football show from yesterday. Myself, Mike Barra, who did bring up David Wilcock. They were colleagues from Ancient Aliens fame and the Speaking Circuit Tour and Coast to Coast AM and all those things. We've all been on to various degrees on the orbit of that whole thing. And like I said, I had two very early interviews, like probably prior to, you know what? I'm going to have to upload that video onto Rumble and YouTube. I'm going to need to put that down. Jamie, make sure someone gets that up. What is it? I'm going to post Wilcock vid, Rumble, YouTube. It is on YouTube, but it's on my personal YouTube. I like YouTube just fine, the letter U. But on that program, we talked about David Wilcock briefly, only basically to acknowledge it and say, we're not going to get into that on this show. But yeah, we both crossed paths, and he's yet another UFO researcher now that has either taken himself out or was taken out or is missing. There's something very strange going on in the UFO community right now. And while all that's happening, President Trump has ordered a shoot-to-kill order for boats over in the Strait of Hormuz. So that has been escalated. And we're going to cover all these stories. So everyone hit the thumbs up button. Make sure that we've all smashed that like button. The algorithm appreciates it. We'll bring your comments up in just a second. Share this show with a friend, please. Text the share button, click it, text it, send it on direct message, send it as a message to a few. Grab random people on X and just be like, hey, we're watching the news live. Can you join us? Or to people that you know. Invite them. Because we try to incorporate some of your jokes, your comments, your questions, your feedback onto this program. It's fun that way. It's interactive. And now scrolling at the bottom of the screen, like I said, Patreon, YouTube, Rumble, there are monthly ways. You just click the subscription, you set it and forget it, and you throw $10 a month at it or something. $100, $1,000, bring it. You know, the more we're able to bring in with your support, the more we're able to do. You know, as evidenced from when we had our specific donations to go down to North Carolina and help Grizzly. We did that documentary, Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way. We got donations from Lowe's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Advance Auto Parts, forget where else. And just made a huge run of donations and supplies after that Hurricane Helene damage. It was bad. That flood was bad. But several of you were watching our shows. I mean, you shot over $500 here and said, make sure this does this. Here's 100 for that. Here's 200 for this. Or this was able to directly take, 12, 16 volunteers to get them the dinner after their entire day driving down to make this happen. Like, you did that. You were able to put hundreds of dollars of gas money into the pockets of the people who went out of their pockets to make it happen and said, no, I just want to do this. He said, that's great, because no, I just want to put this back to you, because I had people who specifically sent something to me saying this is earmarked specifically to make sure that you help him out with his travel expenses, with his gas. Specifically, take everybody out to eat. Spend $200 on dinner. Make sure everybody is taken care of. They're working their ass off. That's the type of thing that we can build outside of the Google, YouTube, Meta, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, monopoly of allowable content. If you question the results of 2020 election, you're not allowed to exist online. If you question the origin of the Wuhan flu at the bioweapons laboratory, you're not allowed to speak and exist and earn money online. If you discuss ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and monoclonal antibodies as potential therapeutic remedies, you're not allowed to exist online. And all of this shit, the SPLC was at the center of it. Right at the center of it. So to everyone that's frustrated that we haven't seen our perp walk, our mugshot of Barack Hussein Obama, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Joe, was it Robinette? That is Biden. Anthony, what's his nuts, Fauci. This SPLC development is an important one. So I just want to make sure we all acknowledge how this wraps around. I was having a conversation about Maduro in Venezuela, and they said, well, how does that even impact me? I'll spare you the details. But the example that I was able to give, verifiable, absolutely, completely documented, directly impacted that person in their entire orbit of what they do as a career. Directly. And it's rare that can happen. A lot of politics feels very hands-off. A lot of it feels very theoretical, hypothetical, big picture stuff, directional, but I don't know. Is that going to really mean anything to me? Oh, you're damn right it means something to you if you care about having a social media with which you're allowed to express your opinion without being attacked, destroyed, depersoned, deleted, Deleted digitally, deleted literally. That shit's got to stop. And the way you stop it is you stop the people who've been doing it. And the SPLC getting stopped is a major development. So to everyone that's been frustrated, what the hell's happening? What's going on? Why are we in the position that we are? I get it. I have days where I almost put my hands up and go, is there any point to any of this? I've seen James O'Keefe say the same thing. It's like, if you're not, there's no money in the stopping the theft, but all the money is in creating the theft. Will there be any action? Will any action occur? Is anything going to come of this? Will anything come of this? What am I doing? What am I doing this for if nothing's going to happen? A legitimate frustration, an exhaustion. The black pill, the dreaded black pill. Well, if nothing ever changes, why should I even care? You know, they're just nihilists, dude. They're nihilists, dude. They care about nothing. They believe in nothing. We care. That's why we're here. We care. That's why we're here. And we ask for your continued support. Final place is Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's the only way we're able to circumvent the normal thing that after 15 years of very consistent content, 1,700, 1,800 videos, something like that. You know, you have a growth cycle and you build the viewership if you're not put into a little glass terrarium out from which you cannot grow. So, you know, your direct Rumble rants and super chat tips go right into our business account. It helps. It's noticed. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all scrolling at the bottom. They're noticed. This community matters. This community is motivated, inspired, frustrated, but realistic. Altruistic, trying to aim at something worth aiming at, directionally helpful to humanity. Our right to just kind of get along without being barked at too much by too many people, or people with bad intentions being given second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th chances to just keep abusing the citizens of this earth. I think our heads are in the right places. And that's why we're here. What's going on with the World Health Order? Did something just occur now, or you're talking in general that America's finally out of the WHO? I mean, the MAGA movement in general, it theoretically is fantastic, but you do have concerns about what's going on with this glyphosate thing. Why are they still spraying in the skies? There's a lot of concerns and questions and frustrations, but directionally, are we on a much better path than we were? Yeah. No more of the WHO getting control or giving them money, says David. Also mentioning that David Wilcock ruffled a lot of feathers, he would imagine. Exactly. Well, anybody speaking is going to ruffle feathers, you know? That's what we're built on. That's who we are. It's what we are. If you speak, you're going to ruffle feathers. Move along. Go on with your day. That type of extra measure to try to tear things down and shut people up and delete people's companies, that stuff is just too far. Unacceptable, un-American, unallowable. And I do support this administration. I am frustrated, confused, concerned about several particular points that we've talked about over the past few months, past year and a half almost. But directionally, I think many things are moving now in the right direction. And I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm not going to tell you to trust on some plan. The SPLC could be a domino. With Brennan in the wings, I am so ready to wake up and find that there's been the mass arrests. I've been waiting for years. And this is not anything that you could manufacture, drum up, plant false evidence, falsely accuse somebody of. No. No, I'm speaking of justice. Revealing what they've been up to for far too long. Maybe this is a step in that right direction. So, without further delay, buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show is going to start with a ceremonial simultaneous sip. Can we do it? A ceremonial simultaneous sip. Ceremonial simultaneous. Go on, Harry Mack. Hit me with the freestyle. Ceremonial. What'd I say? Ceremonial simultaneous sip. And if you would like to participate in this, please, somebody clip this out, a TNAM meme team. Send this to Harry Mack and ask just from one Cleveland. Okay, let's do 3 things. He usually says, give me 3 topics to do a freestyle on. Ceremonial, simultaneous, or simultaneous sip in the Cleveland Browns football team. On this draft day where I'm looking forward to rooting for my team. And by the way, check out Strictly Football. Yesterday we had our mock draft show. Myself, Mike Barrett, Jim Mitchell, Ezrael Robinson, Strictly Football. It's up on Rumble. It's up on YouTube. Go check it out. But tonight we're going to go live for the NFL draft. Maybe it's 7 o'clock. I think maybe 7 o'clock we'll go live. I think that's what we'll aim at. But somebody clip this and send it to Harry Mack. Simultaneous sip, ceremonial, and the Cleveland Browns football team. To launch today's show with a simultaneous sip, all you need is a cup or a mug or glass, a tankard, chalice or stein, a canteen, jug or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And join me now for the unparalleled pleasure, the dopamine hit of the day. It's called the simultaneous sip. And it happens now. Go. That's good coffee. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right, everybody. Let's put chat up on the screen. Welcome, David. We are an international program. We've got some Canucks that listen. David, invite all your smart friends and family. We need more help from our neighbors at the north. We love having David here. He thinks the corruption is deep. Oh, it is. Welcome, everybody. John in the house. Marion, droopy dog. Marion, jumping on a bit behind today. Well, that's okay. That was my opening monologue, but it was connecting some very important stories. Bye-bye, WHO. No more of their control, giving them money. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for being here, everyone. If you want to tell us about a story that you think we should cover, go ahead and send it to us on X at American_media_. Once again, tonight, we're going to be live doing strictly football. I mean, it'll be in conjunction with just the Unhappy Hour or strictly Browns. But we'll be live the whole first round of the NFL draft. It'll be a hangout. We, of course, have been doing sports content here on the New American Media for 15 years. If you want some merch, go ahead and shoot me a Venmo at Brian Engelman. These are Ohio-made wooden coasters, 4 per pack, $30 a pack, includes shipping, 2 for $50 if you want both Ohio and circle-shaped, or 2 Ohio or 2 circle. And if you want a pin for the Unhappy Hour collectible pin, $25. So $75 for all 3. Shoot me a Venmo with your address, what you want. We'll get these mailed out to you ASAP. But I love covering sports. I love the stories of sports and rebuilding franchises. And, you know, every year the draft is a brand new opportunity to go gather the right people to take you from where you are to where you want to go. And where you want to go is the best of the best. You want perfection on that field. You know, I was very fortunate to have played for multiple undefeated football teams. It's fantastic. Great coaching. No need to be scared when you're prepared. And my Cleveland Browns have really not been consistent. We've had a couple of playoff seasons, like Baker Mayfield, Derek Anderson, almost. Kelly Holcomb, Dennis drops. Was it Dennis Northcutt dropped the pass in Pittsburgh? Helmet-to-helmet hit from the Chiefs, Dirty Dan Sorensen with Hollywood Higgins on the Baker Mayfield touchdown that changed the game, that would have had the Cleveland Browns during the COVID season and the AFC Championship game, maybe the Super Bowl, maybe a Super Bowl champion. Who knows? Fate's tough. Nick Chubb's injury took him off the board. It's just, fate's tough. You never know what's going to happen next. In the world of sports, it's just a reminder you're supposed to compete, keep clocking in, keep trying, keep learning, keep getting better, keep building strength. Just get it done. I love the world of sports. So check us out tonight and check out the program from yesterday. All right, let's go side by side here. That's a little better. What is this? UFO Current. Who are we talking to? This is Finnerty. What is UFO Current? I don't know. I'll give it a follow. General Blaine Holt talking here. Brigadier General, retired U.S. Air Force. Why is he saying this?
We absolutely do not refute that there are extraterrestrials and that more will be coming out. I will tell you, Dr. Greer is absolutely correct. We will learn more about our friends from other worlds. We
will learn more about our friends from other worlds. Are you ready for it? Friends, massive shift in tone. Are we being slowly prepared for something bigger? Both, I mean, you've heard comments from Tim Burchett, Anna Paulina Luna, President Trump, former resident Barack Hussein Obama, look, friends from other worlds. You know, a lot of folk, a lot of Americans out there, a lot of folk, you know, they'll look around and be like, look what we did. And I'm like, look, you didn't build that. You didn't build that. Look, it was friends from the other worlds. You know, look, I was telling Michelle the other day, we got a lot of friends. Look, they're not good at paddle boarding, but they are good at, doing that old okey doke with that spaceship up there. We got a lot of friends, not a lot of chefs, but a lot of friends. Not a lot of comedian friends. I mean, we do have Jimmy Kimmel, but you know, he hasn't been funny for 20 years. I mean, like Joan Rivers. not a big friend, you know, not a big fan of Joan and her comedy, but got a lot of friends out there, friends from other worlds, you know, and they said, would you like to be an emissary for America? But, you know, I've always viewed myself as more of a global citizen, you know, and they said, maybe you could have an earpiece in the basement and, you know, talk to us, communicate telepathically or, you know, something. And I said I'd do that for the good of the team. But when you have Trump and Obama agreeing on something, talking about aliens, like, this has been a slow disclosure for a little while now, has it not? And how many UFO connected people have now been taken off of the chessboard, David Wilcock being one of them. Let me just go ahead and share with you my conversation with David Wilcock. I'm just enamored with my hair. And to be fair, this was the end of a very long day, and I had longer hair at the time. But then again, I digress. That's what I view. Lots of UFO affiliated people have been taken off the board now. So, who was David Wilcock and what was he about? That's exact. I listened to a couple of hours of his content. You know, given a lecture in some side room, and maybe an hour and a half lecture. It went over 45 minutes, two plus hours or something. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even keep up. What are we even? We're just talking about every topic. And so he was gracious enough to answer a question from me, probably a couple months before I officially started the New American Media. This might have been February. New American Media might have started in April. And if you don't know David, this is who David wanted you to know he was in 2011. So here we go.
I'm here with David Wilcock over at the Conscious Life Expo 2011. David, can you tell us, for anyone watching that doesn't know your body of work, everything that you've done, can you try to sum up what you're doing? I know it's hard.
Wow.
It takes a long time to digest all of this, but for someone who has no idea who you are or what Conscious Life is, can you try to explain it in as succinct a manner as possible?
All right. I believe that the basis of life is written into the basis of matter and energy. I give extensive proof that shows that consciousness is the unified field. But this goes significantly beyond conventional quantum physics that talks about wave-particle duality and says, oh, well, because the consciousness of the observer changes the experiment, therefore we're actually affecting the quantum reality.
The intent of the experimenter.
I show how DNA is a product of a quantum energy field, that it's 99.9% of the dust all over the galaxy is actually little bacteria, which suggests that since the dust is coming off of stars, that the stars themselves are factories for life. We're now finding out that there are habitable planets with water and, you know, all the necessary ingredients for life. Every week it seems like they're coming out with a new study that says there's more and more of them. So what I actually believe is that the human design is a galactic template. It evolves on many, many different planets. There's extensive documentation of humans that come here and are treated as gods. And those gods have advanced technology such as the levitation of large blocks of stone. I talk about pyramid technology and how it actually acts as a funnel for this energy field. The word pyramid, higher, amid means fire in the middle. It's a vortex in the middle. Those vortex energies that the pyramid creates have been proven to elevate biological life, to make it more healthy, to elevate human consciousness, to decrease or eliminate earthquakes, severe weather, And ultimately, the sarcophagus in the Great Pyramid was an ascension chamber used to take the initiate and propel him or her into a light body state. It appears that we are not at the pinnacle of human evolution for what the galaxy has in mind for us. It appears that we are evolving into a cosmic level of humanity. And it appears that this happens on a fixed schedule driven by galactic energy, which actually charges up the solar system, so we're seeing the sun and all the planets getting brighter, hotter, and more magnetic. It's not just global warming on Earth, it's the entire solar system.
Right, exactly.
And you can take it from there to the fact that all these ancient prophecies from the gods about a golden age correspond to an actual DNA and energy.
Golden age. Okay. The golden age. I know that Scott Adams had sort of been branding it that way, and President Trump has latched onto the golden age as well. David Wilcock was using that phrase. Not that it's a unique phrase, but now to see it being used by the President of the United States the way that it is, it's noteworthy.
Entire solar system.
Right, exactly.
And you can take it from there to the fact that all these ancient prophecies from the gods about a golden age correspond to an actual DNA and energetic evolution that we're now going through. So that's the elevator speech.
Now, that elevator speech is amazing because that's a lot to take in. If they want more information, where can they find your stuff?
My website is divinecosmos.com. And I have a book coming out in August with Penguin called Sourcefield Investigations. I also have a big Hollywood film coming out called Convergence, and that talks about all this stuff and was written with the guy who wrote Contact with Carl Sagan.
David Wilcox, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thanks a lot.
Well, there you have it. How many UFO researchers have been taken off the chessboard now? Our friends from out there. How soon before this happens? Friends from other worlds.
Absolutely do not refute that there are extraterrestrials and that more will be coming out. I will tell you, Dr. Greer is absolutely correct. We will learn more about our friends from other worlds.
Okay. Beware, everybody. Radical Ebb. I don't know who this is. He posted this, and this is a pretty wild picture. It said, I will never in my life be as cool as the Secret Service agents escorting President Reagan out of the Masters after an attempted attack. Fucking Argyle socks, crisp blazer, and an Uzi with the LMAG attachment. Insane drip. We used to be a proper nation. All right, I'm going to follow. Let's check in on what happened with Virginia. They thought they pulled a fast one. No, maybe not.
Tonight, a circuit court in Virginia ruled a short time ago, within the past 2 hours, that the redistricting referendum passed by voters yesterday is unconstitutional. The judge is now blocking certification of the election and denying a motion to stay pending appeal. Virginia's Democratic Attorney General responding by posting that he plans to appeal that. Correspondent Mark Meredith has.
Brett, good evening to you. Plenty of new drama here in the Commonwealth tonight. Republicans are challenging the legality of yesterday's ballot measure. They have asked a judge to throw out the case, essentially to wait for it to happen. An injunction was issued. The judge agreeing. Democrats, as you mentioned, say they are going to appeal, that there's no merit to this case, that they believe this is an attempt to override the will of the voters. Either way, Brett, this is creating a lot more chaos ahead of November's midterms.
Donald Trump and Republicans launch this gerrymandering war. We're going to
Hakeem Jeffries, liar in chief. The Democrats have grossly gerrymandered, I think everywhere that they could, almost everywhere that they could. I think they're down to maybe one or two places left that they could maybe squeeze a little bit more corruption out of. No. Once again, this falls under the hurry up and do it philosophy. My understanding is that Florida was waiting on the results of on the results of Virginia. and they are getting ready to redistrict to take 5 seats back. I'll share more of that story as we come across it on X or on Instagram. And once again, if you guys have any stories you want us to check out, to maybe include on the show, tag us at American_media_ on X. Remember, we have Rumble rant tips and Super Chat tips as well. But Hakeem Jeffries here, he's completely mischaracterizing what's going on. Any efforts by Republicans are basically to try to catch up to what the Democrats have been doing for a very long time. Same with voter integrity. Same with voter integrity. Trying to catch up to they've been getting away with for too long.
Finish it.
Tonight, Democrats are claiming victory after Virginia voters narrowly approved a referendum giving state lawmakers power to redraw congressional maps this year, likely shrinking Republican representation from 5 House districts to 1.
It's a hyper-partisan gerrymandering boondoggle.
Critics accuse Virginia's Democratic governor, Abigail Spanberger.
Stop calling her a Democrat governor. Call her a CIA governor. She's a CIA member. She's a literal deep state asset.
Of flip-flopping after previously calling gerrymandering detrimental to democracy. She says it's now justified after Texas redrew its maps.
We want to respond to what we see other states doing at the request of this president.
Republicans say the fight's not over. The state Supreme Court has yet to rule if the referendum was legal to begin with.
We believe we have a very strong case before the state Supreme Court.
Today, President Trump, without...
And by the way that they wrote that to restore fairness, they had a fair... they put together some sort of nonpartisan map group something so that they could come up with the most fair way to draw districts and represent. That's the opposite of what they sold it as. And they pitched it like, don't you want to be fair? The words, the verbiage that was used on the explanation at the ballot box makes it ineligible. Obviously, all you have to do is read it. It's incorrect. It's leading. It's not neutral.
Proof said the race was rigged, adding, "Let's see if the courts will fix this travesty of justice." Multiple states have already redrawn maps this year. Republicans say they've likely increased the majority by 3 to 5 seats in Texas. Democrats say the same in California. Both parties making smaller gains in Utah, North Carolina, and Ohio, with Democrats now holding to a 2 to 4 seat gain overall. Next up, Florida, where a proposal meant to gain Republican seats may be unveiled as soon as next week. Top Democrats are vowing to spend millions to fight back. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis said, "Bring it on."
Please be my guest. I will pay for you to come down to Florida and campaign. I'll put you up in the Florida governor's mansion.
What?
Other states are also looking at redistricting, including Louisiana and Missouri, but some court cases have slowed down the process, and the states are also eagerly awaiting a ruling from the Supreme Court when it comes to the Voting Rights Act, which could limit the role race plays when it comes to drawing new voting maps.
See, now this is a major issue. It's being exposed that the Democrats have been rigging the game racially so that they could fund people like the SPLC to create boogeymen so that they could make their opponents seem like demonic, racist, malevolent demons. Wouldn't it be interesting? The Supreme Court says all of that is unconstitutional and illegal. David says they're in deep shit. I think they are. I hope they are. I hope the Supreme Court can be better than it has been lately. People like to say, oh, Republicans have the Supreme Court. In what universe? John Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, they are hardly Republican, MAGA. I mean, you can count on like a couple voices, but not really. David says they continue to cheat even though they know they're being watched. Well, they sort of suspect they've been watched, but there's also this thing like, well, we haven't been busted, so we're still getting away with it. And that's the only good answer you could get from someone when you ask the question that I said earlier in the program, what's taking so long? And you're sitting on the side. You're like, hold on. Wait. Not yet. Hold on. We're almost here. We almost got him. We're about to spring this trap on every one of them. Hold on. No, nobody's getting away. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Like, there's no getting away from this. Hold on. And you're like, yeah, but I've been told that for 6 years. I've been told that for 10 years. Come on. You're being played for a fool. I know. But what if the Supreme Court does settle this?
Brett.
Mark Meredith live in Alexandria. Mark, thank you. President Trump breaking tonight.
All right. So keep your eyes peeled on Virginia. Now, this is a wild conversation. Amy for San Diego. Is that who this is? Amy Reichert. Don't know who this is, but she's on Real America's Voice here, talking about when Nick Shirley was in town exposing California fraud.
The woman, she came to the door and she said, "I'm naked. I could sue you." And then she disappeared for 30 seconds. She came back, opened the door again, said, "I was naked. I could sue you, Nick Shirley." And of course, you know what I said next. I said, "Why are you naked in a daycare?" The woman.
Why are you naked in a daycare? David says, yeah, but this time is different. People are going to go to jail. My God, it needs to happen. Very different from framing innocent people. Legitimately guilty people need to start going. Our message. I think we played this for you. Yeah, the Hakeem Jeffrey.
Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy mander,
both sides of your mouth. It's tug of war. And now he's got to try to, with a straight face, sell the exact opposite point he was just arguing.
the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now. And under no circumstances are Texas Republicans picking up 5 seats. They'll be fortunate if they get 2 or 3.
And by the way, Kristen Sokolov says, I love to see this fool melting down. Timu Obama telling look, don't bring Timu into this. My wife, Michelle told me, I need to start shopping at more black owned, shopperies. What do they call it? My damn teleprompter glitching on me again. Stores. There we go. Now it's going. Stores. Michelle said I need to go support more people in black owned stores. Apparently when I threw out that first pitch for the Chicago White Sox in my mom jeans and those white shoes every dad seems to have for mowing the lawn for some reason, they all got to be white. They said, Barry, what are you doing? You need to shop at more, black owned stores. So don't bring Timu into this. Don't make this about me and Hakeem Jeffries. We are very different. Very different.
While in California, we are going to get all 5. The Republicans are dummy-mandering their way into the minority before a single vote is cast because they started this war, and we're going to finish it.
Virginia's over here playing political games, and Florida's like, nah, hold my beer. Millions of new residents in Florida, the maps need updating. So they want to mess around with fairness? Florida is not messing around.
Our message to Florida.
Yeah, 2 million people that moved there since 2020. Guess what they're going there for? Freedom. They're not voting Democrat. Anyway, here's my reaction when I see grown men more passionate about televised sports than actually saving their nation. I mean, I'm wearing my hat. I love my team. But I'm trying to save this nation first. Trying to do both. I don't know what this account is. Give it a follow. All right. Dead scientists said that elites time travel. According to what this? Who is this? WTF News? What is this video? Oh, there's David Wilcock. Oh, maybe I'll check. Here, let's watch this video. Unvetted. Don't know what this is.
And this morning, he became the 12th scientist to unalive himself. Take a listen to what he said on his final live stream.
Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing.
Too much piano in the background.
Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on.
It's a little bit scary.
The thumbnail was a picture of Trump in his Jesus robe, and it was, has Trump lost his mind? Is he the Antichrist?
Oh. But that being the title, what was the content within?
Yes, it was.
Oh, no.
I think this is really weird. This is from his last live.
Okay, here we go.
And
Was it a pathway to peace or Antichrist?
I'm so grateful, and we'll do the typical lead out here. And A-N-D, not E-N-D. And scene.
I mean, I don't know. So, like, the bigger question.
And then he's gone. Police are called. A couple minutes later, he takes himself off of the chessboard, allegedly.
Is like, what is actually going on? Whether these people killed themselves.
This comment says David was mocking Christians at the beginning of his live stream for being offended by Trump's posting the picture of himself portrayed as Jesus healer. Go see for yourself. He's playing the role of his dad with a cigarette in his mouth and wearing a disheveled shirt. He said a pattern should never be worn for filming. Of course, comments here. They're getting us off the Epstein wagon onto the UFO wagon. Dozens and dozens of times he said he'd never do that to himself. The comments are wild.
They were killed. Is like, what are the secrets of why?
On February 19th, Trump tweeted out, based on the
tremendous interest shown, I'll be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America.
And what is your takeaway from that particular message right there?
It's
right?
Jeffrey. We're releasing all the files except.
Oh, it's Jeffrey Epstein 2.0. We're going to release all this, and then you don't. Except there's 3 million we haven't seen, and they're going to release some information that they have. And they got to whack everybody that's going to contradict or come out and say, hey, sorry. Been studying this for 20 years. We actually have different information. One by one, they're plucking them out, and they're gone.
Al really going to get to the bottom of this?
Of course not.
You know, is he actually serious?
Oh my God, you know who did this?
What?
Who killed these people?
Who?
Tyler Robinson.
There's many people who do not believe that Tyler Robinson was responsible for taking Charlie Kirk off the chessboard. Are you convinced? Question of the day. Tell me in chat. Are you convinced that Tyler Robinson is the one that took Charlie Kirk off the chessboard? Let me ask you, does agree or disagree? Do you disagree that Tyler Robinson took Charlie Kirk off the chessboard? You agree with that official story, or do you disagree? Tell us in chat. Am I following this account? Yeah, I suppose so. What are the two others? The Today-ish show. All right, I'll follow.
Amy Eskridge, one of the 11 scientists.
What's the latest with President Trump? Oh, they got music in here. Polymarket.
Have you been negotiating a lot all day? I mean, is that why your voice is hoarse?
I've been screaming at Iranians all day. Yeah.
I've been screaming at Iranians all day. Yeah.
Yes. A little bit of a laryngitis because of my I've been screaming at Iranians.
That's one of my favorite Trump quotes of all time. I've been screaming at Iranians. I've been screaming at Iranians all day. A bit, they said, sir, you sound like maybe you have a little laryngitis. And I said, I've been screaming at Iranians. Can you believe it? They said, sir, we can hear you down the hall. You're screaming at Iranians again. And I said, that's all they understand. These Iranians, you have to scream at them. I've been screaming at Iranians all day. Like, that's all I want to do today is scream at Iranians. But here we are.
So the Iran leadership you're screaming at?
You know why? Because that's the only thing they understand.
This is one of my favorite. When you get like a top 30 list together, a favorite like little Trumpisms, Trump quotes, little soundbite clips. This has got to be up there. This has got to be top 10. It's all they understand. Just screaming at Iranians.
They don't understand being nice.
Nice is not an option. They said, sir, why don't you don't mean tweet, nice tweet. I said, that doesn't work. These Iranians don't get nice. It doesn't work. So I've been screaming at Iranians.
Have you been negotiating a lot all day? I mean, is that why your voice is hoarse?
I've been screaming at Iranians all day. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, continued prayers that this operation can reach a nice conclusion relatively quickly, safely, productively for humanity. Man, that is quite a soundbite. Dave says, no, I disagree. I'm not convinced Tyler Robinson took Charlie Kirk off the the chessboard. I'm going to put this in here. I've been screaming at Iranians button. They've probably got this guy negotiating with an Iranian AI bot. That's so funny. I can imagine that.
Remember?
All right, Della is a little bit more. Well, she occasionally supports Trump, but then I think lately it's been, I'm going to make a concerted effort to call out some things that are bugging me about the Trump administration. So here's this one about administration promises.
Remember when the president said that we were going to get checks for all that fraud they uncovered with Doge? Because they found like $50 million of our taxpayer dollars going to like gender transition surgeries on rats in Egypt. And they were like, we're going to get Americans a check for that so fast. And then we never got a check for it and went to war for Israel instead. And then remember when they were like, we're going to release the Epstein files if we get him elected, and we're gonna release him, and we're gonna find those bad guys, and we're gonna put him in jail, dude. Put him in jail. And then he was like, actually, we're not gonna release those, and you guys are stupid for asking for them. Stupid idiots. Look at you stupid fucking idiots over there wanting your Epstein thing. You don't even exist. And we were like, what? And then they were like, we're gonna make America healthy again. America's gonna be so healthy, oh my God. And But then they were like, actually, we're granting immunity to glyphosate. We're going to put it in all your food and you can't say anything about it. And also, you can't sue us about it. Take that.
Well, what can you say about that? My system froze. Did you notice that? Did you notice my system freezing? Is frozen. Well, is frozen. Well, will restream continue and let this stream continue? This is new. There's a first time for everything button. That's never happened before. Is frozen. Well, will restream continue and let this stream continue? Okay, I'll turn off the volume on the playback here. That was rather odd, was it not? Yes, rather odd. There is a lag that is hard to put into words. Something that's never happened before. Are we still frozen? Background. Wow, this is struggling. Don't know what's happening. Got to talk support. My show is lagging, stuttering, pausing, and disconnecting. All right, let's try it again. See if we can get these both up on the screen, because it is slow. It has been slow on me. This one looks better. So let's play where we left off when the feed screwed up. I didn't have the volume muted.
We're going to get checks for all that fraud they uncovered with Doge because they found like $50 million of our taxpayer dollars going to like gender transition surgeries on rats in Egypt. And they were like, we're going to get Americans a check for that so fast. And then we never got a check for it and went to war for Israel instead. And remember when they were like, we're going to release the Epstein files if we get him elected, and we're gonna release him, and we're gonna find those bad guys, and we're gonna put him in jail, dude. Put him in jail. And then he was like, actually, we're not gonna release those, and you guys are stupid for asking for them. Stupid idiots. Look at you stupid fucking idiots over there wanting your Epstein thing. You don't even exist. And we were like, what? And then they were like, we're going to make America healthy again. America's going to be so healthy, oh my God. And then they were like, actually, we're granting immunity to glyphosate. We're going to put it in all your food and you can't say anything about it. And also, you can't sue us about it. Take that, fucker. What? Remember?
Yeah, those are legitimate complaints. Yes, Marion says, yep, you're back on. We can hear and see you. Good. That was a strange glitch, but we're going to keep it rolling. Follow Deladream. You know, that is why people are mad. Those are pretty fair complaints that she has there. Oh, where'd all my stories go? Let's see. Scroll ahead. Oh, was that the end of it? Nope. Here's another one. Another complaint about the Trump first 15 months.
Let me see if I got this straight. $166 billion are about to be refunded to 330,000 U.S. companies for the tariffs that were charged that increased costs on American taxpayers and consumers by over $1,700 per family. The money is going to go back to the U.S. companies, even though foreign countries were paying the tariffs and the consumer paid the higher price. You didn't get a refund, and it's going to be paid back with interest with money that we borrow that inflates our own currency. And on top of that, what happened to the $2,000 tariff dividend check we were supposed to get? This was Donnie in December.
And we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we're taking in literally trillions of dollars. And we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people in addition to reducing debt.
Okay.
Go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to believe that.
Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low.
Yeah, whether you get rid of income tax or keep it around for fun. And of course, it wouldn't be a day ending in Y without the MAGA slop pushers, the knob slobber admin meat riders like Eric, blaming this, of course, on the Supreme Court. Anything to deflect from what actually occurred. The Supreme Court made it absolutely horrible, really. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution gives the authority to initiate tariffs to the Congress, which means this shit would have never happened had he just gone to Congress to get the authority to institute these tariffs. Then there would have been no refund, been no increased tax price unless the Congress, aka the representatives of the people, voted on it. But hey, who cares, right? Let's just blame it on the Supreme Court. Yes, the executive has specific powers for this, but obviously he didn't meet those requirements. And it's not like we have this overtly leftist.
And by the way, yeah, I mean, it is sort of overtly leftist, the Supreme Court. I mean, you have Ketanji Brown Jackson has voted incorrectly, I think, on every single issue. I mean, you have people that are not even trying to be objective. These are umpires, allegedly umpires, who have never blown a whistle or thrown a flag on their home team ever. This is not justice. This is insane. And you have Republican and name only candidates who were put into that position at the Supreme Court, and they voted with the wrong side over and over and over again. So did they misrepresent who they were from the beginning? Were they a Manchurian candidate, a Trojan horse candidate? Did they only change once they got where they were trying to go? Is that their true colors all along? Were they bribed or blackmailed? Were they paid off? I don't know how you look at John Roberts. I don't know how you look at Amy Coney Barrett and say that it's a Republican Supreme Court. They break ranks and do ridiculous stuff. It was John Roberts that changed his mind. Remember, it was the same Supreme Court that wouldn't take up the 2020 case to take a look at what are we talking about here? These states are saying what equals a fair election? What did they do? What did they not do? And they're claiming that you can count on this as verified, accurate vote counts for the presidential election? There's no universe where that's verified or reliable or trustworthy, or it doesn't pass the smell test. Supreme Court didn't do that. Not like that would have been one of the most consequential things they ever could have, would have, should have done. And they kicked the can down the road. They said, nope, no jurisdiction, said so many of the state authorities. No, there's no standing. You don't have standing to bring this case. Yes, you do. We're all in this mess together, and if the other side gets control, they're going to do all sorts of things which will literally impact my life directly. Of course, we have standing. Lake Leon, didn't the corrupt judges put a stop to the payments? Yeah, so like the tariffs are the ones. The tariffs were stopped, but it was the judges that did it. It's not like President Trump did this. The judges are the one. And by the way, they aimed it in one direction and said, we're using this, what is it, IAEPA or something like that. But it was the weakest case. There's 2, 3, 4, there's a multitude of tariff types. And by doing it this way to get a ruling that also in the ruling said, if you do this type and this type and this type, it will qualify and you do have the go ahead to do it. So then they said, okay, we're going to refile it under that category. You got clarification. Okay. So now we've been clarified, doing it the other way. And the other story is that President Trump is, well, I don't know if this is confirmed, but I've heard that the president is now saying to all these companies with the tariffs that are going to get refunded is like, you don't need to take this just because we have to give it to you. And if you do take this, we're going to remember who you are, what your company is. If you're going to take this stuff back just because there was some sort of technicality and you've already charged, you've passed these prices along to the consumers, you can take it and we're going to give it to you. But if you take it, we're not going to forget. That's the story I'm hearing.
Supreme Court. And generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, people should be kind of happy that the Supreme Court exists as a check on power. Because in the event that such a thing was done by the left, we would be happy that the Supreme Court was there to stop things like this. As it is in theory supposed to be nonpartisan and one of the checks and balances that makes American government great. But hey, no big deal, because Donnie says he will remember the companies that don't seek to be refunded the money they were charged for tariffs. Implying that if you don't ask for that money back, you will get some type of benefit. And if you do, you will be punished. You know, which is just a great thing for us to be doing. So basically, in summation, everybody wins but you. Skibbity beep bop ba. Golden age, you're broke. Let me see if I got this straight. $166 billion are about to be refunded to 330,000.
Okay, that's the Take Naps account. No refund for you. Nick Shirley talking about what the woke universe is essentially all about. Break it down, and it kind of comes down to one thing.
The idea of wokeness is essentially the idea to remove God from everything. The idea of that a man can be woman means that God made a mistake, but God's the truth.
Yeah.
So wokeness is kind of the idea of wokeness really is the idea of just removing God and filling it with something else.
Yeah.
And so you are seeing that divide. Like if you go ask any of those, if you ask a large portion of those people that are yelling at ICE agents, when's the last time they went to church, or the last time they had a family meal, or when's the last time they said a prayer? Most of them couldn't answer. And so you're seeing that's part of the big issue right now is you're seeing wokeness, which is essentially the idea of removing God and filling it in with something else, kind of get into the brains of a lot of people.
Yeah. As the saying goes, idle time is the devil's workshop.
All right. David Wilcock allegedly made this post. Astrologer Joe, who's this? Was this a planted tweet? The comments are asking. He didn't K himself. He was K'd. Come on, people. He wouldn't do it. We live in a loving universe. Hold on to that, whatever seems to happen. Post allegedly said, "My dear family," at least as reported by this site on Astrologer Joe that I'm not following. I'm not sure. Let me double check. Actually, I had that queued up to something else. No, I don't want to search that. I just want to search here.
All right, you guys, we're good. That was our little quick global peace meditation. I'll read a couple of your comments here. We're getting very close to the end here, so we don't have hardly any time. I honestly think commercials are timed to hit, so we don't get the same kind of down. Well, yeah, you can hit the skip button, but again, somebody says that has a great frequency, and so it is. Amen. Kiko says, "Nice to see you in a good mood today, David. It lifts our spirits. Meditation, vibing together, shines so bright. Great show yet again. Much love to us all." Thank you very much, Kiko. Eden Hollander says, "Thank you, David." Walking Tree says, "Arigato." Midnight Mark, "Great meditation, great show. Love you, brother. Glad I got done early and could catch most of it. You can come in and get the rest later." Saving the best for last. The end won't be for everyone. I think it's possible that he was sacrificing his reputation for the sake of the plan, just like Batman in the movie The Dark Knight. Thank you so much, David, for your time, effort, energy. Ghost of Adi, you are now cleared for liftoff. Appreciate that very much. Awesome show, David. Keep the light flowing and keep the faith. Sofa King, that was beautiful. Thank you for another great show, says Vicky Cornwall. Venus Renata, so it is. Amen. Thank you guys so much. I really love you and appreciate you guys. I'm so glad that you're here, guys and girls. We will see you on the next time around. And I am so grateful, and we'll do the typical lead out here. And A-N-D, not E-N-D. And scene. There we go. All right, you guys. Thank you so much.
So, just one day before he died, this is how he signed off on a live stream on YouTube with the following clip. They say he was in the middle of a mental health crisis. I mean, he seemed kind of with it, that day. Here's David talking about Anna Paulina Luna.
Anyway, we're doing well, and I think that it's going to be okay. So remember that this is all, for me, my big focus on this show is a spiritual transformation that we're going through that has been predicted for literally 35 different cultures around the world. In their ancient mythologies, talked about the end of this 25,000-year cycle, the precession of the equinoxes, supposedly around the end of the Mayan calendar 2012, and we showed you that sure enough, in our next door neighbor's solar system, there was a solar flash on just about December 21st, 2012. That happened right over on Proxima Centauri, 4.24 light years away. It was released on March 16th, 2017. You dial that back in time, it goes to right around Christmas of 2012, which is only 4 days off from the Mayan calendar end date of December 21st, 2012. Now, is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I think that our star is in a binary system with Alpha Centauri, which includes Proxima. And I think that this energetic release that would have happened in our solar system happened next door instead because, if you will, the solar logos, the Christ consciousness of our solar system, gave us an extension, decided that we weren't just going to get flash fried and cooked into hash browns, but we get to have another chance. That's pretty freaking good. What happened to the people on Proxima Centauri, says BAGH. If there were any, then they probably got cooked up into hash browns, son, because nothing's going to survive that. 63 times brighter to the naked eye. I mean, wow, it's It was a huge solar flash. We're talking about so much energy being released that it would have boiled everything on the surface of the planet, 1,000 degrees Celsius or more. Let's be very glad that didn't happen here, because that seems to be the big secret. Anna Paulina Luna's again telling us to look at she's a congressional representative.
There we go.
Look at the Book of Enoch. It has a solar flash in there. I showed you guys that before.
Solar flash in the Book of Enoch. What's the Book of Enoch? It's something that Constantine and his crew said should be eliminated and taken out of the Bible, the Apocrypha. Why is certain information being hidden?
I mean, it is just such a wild time to be alive. It's so insane. It's so crazy. But at the same time, we have all these interesting things going on that involve, higher consciousness and extraterrestrials and disclosure. I cannot wait for this disclosure to happen, man. I mean, we've been waiting for so freaking long. It's like, just bring it on. And it was supposed to be on Tuesday, right? It was supposed to be Tuesday. Representative Anna Paulina Luna sent a letter to the Pentagon. You got to get this done by then. But now Burchett, after talking to the president, introduces a bill. He just so happens to introduce a bill that gives the entire Pentagon authority to disclose, where no one group bottles it off.
This is what he was talking about. Okay. Health Ranger says, I suppose this is already fairly well known, but I spoke to an industry source with lots of experience in the area of alternative technology who says the David Wilcock death was for certain a targeted hit. Basically, they Charlie Kirked David Wilcock. Sadly, that means a very important and super fake psyop narrative is about to be unveiled. They don't want people who know what's happening to blow the lid on it, so brace yourself. I don't know if that's true or not. Is he on X? I'm looking for X to see if I can confirm it. I don't know. I can't seem to find his... Did he have an X account? And Anna Paulina Luna confirmed his passing. And he was talking about Anna Paulina Luna. They were close. Close enough. David Wilcock discussing UFOs and religion.
The DS is very, very adamantly fighting to prevent you from learning about extraterrestrials. That's the last thing they want you to know about. They want you to be afraid. They want you to see them as gods, to see them as authority figures. The last thing they want is for you to understand there's a higher power that answers Christianity, answers Islam, answers Buddhism, answers Hinduism. It pays off all of these ancient teachings that we've inherited that often become religions. And we find out that these are not mythological texts. These are actual documented, factual, historical accounts. The Bible has ET contact. The Quran has ET contact. Buddhist scriptures have multiple examples of ET contact. So does the Hebrew scriptures. I mean, it's everywhere. So we're going to have a big awakening. And as I've said before, I have been used by these higher beings telepathically to convey a message, which is the earth changes that we were afraid were going to happen, pole shift, solar flash, tsunami, all that stuff. That's not going to be happening. We're actually going to be spared these disasters because we've learned the lessons that Jesus meant to teach us, to be loving towards other people. Enough of us have learned these lessons of love. Joy Berman just donated. Thank you very much. We've learned these lessons of love so that we don't have to go through this catastrophe. We've authorized a positive timeline. And so it's very important to understand that the most jealously guarded secrets by the DS are
deep state,
are the forbidden technologies. This is the most dangerous thing to talk about.
Forbidden technologies, the most dangerous thing to talk about. We all know, though.
They will threaten you the most. They will attack you the most. They will take intelligence assets and put them on you. Those intelligence assets are told that you're full of crap, told that you're a con artist, told that you're lying. The assets don't even know that you're telling the truth. And their job is just to try to attack you and ruin your life. And they're very tenacious. I'm going to show you some examples of this today.
And I was reading another post about someone who had, maybe the examples he's about to bring up are the examples that this other person shared about getting attacked. Anyway, I can't confirm if that's a real tweet here. I can't stay down the rabbit hole, but dig into David Wilcock. This post is purported to be from him, from the Astrologer Joe account. I'm not yet sure if I'm doing a show. This has been reported other places at David well, then why couldn't I search it? Hold on. I searched David Wilcock and it didn't. Okay. Let's compare. Oh, I think this combines two tweets, two posts. On April 18, he said, "My dear family, I'm not yet sure if I'm doing a show tomorrow. I've had some very intense stuff going on this weekend. Either way, I want you all to know how much I love and appreciate you. Always remember that the Creator is within and we live in a loving universe. I'm very grateful to you for all of your love, care, and support. Thank you to all of my donors and regular loyal supporters, including Linda, Keese, anyway, all these people." Regarding the last post he shared, said, "Dear family, I slept miraculously well last night and decided to go live today. Why in the world did President of the United States post that Christ-like picture? Has he lost his mind? Are we going to be okay? Is he the Antichrist? How does this affect the war and disclosure? I was admittedly freaked out when I saw this and wanted to know what the heck is going on. What the heck is up with the demon at the top of the image, as we will discuss? Surviving a shot to the ear, was he wounded on the side and yet did live, like in the biblical sense? In this latest bloody satanic video of Trump circulating today, actually real, is it? Grok says no, thankfully. Are we all in a big psyop here? Are we going to make it? Is there a schism between President of the United States and the alliance? Why have they posted things implying that there is? Why is he turning on top influencers like Tucker, Alex, Candace, and acting so strangely? I want to have an honest discussion about this and not just sugarcoat it. I want to hear your thoughts. We will dive deeply into disclosure, current events, and the true meaning of the Christ within. Do not miss this controversial and exciting show. I've been on it since 4:30 a.m., and it will be terrific." So that was his last show, his last post. Sounds like an interesting topic. I think maybe I shall watch it. Oh, 3 hours and 33 minutes, of course. For those of you into numerology, it's 3 minutes, 33 seconds long. Because of course it is. Rest in peace, David. Okay, I'm going to watch that later. But that was his last post there. All right. Remember, the Creator is within. We live in a loving universe. Either way, know how much I want you to know how much I love and appreciate you. All right.
Hold on.
This is on, what is this, Biohacking Bombshell? I don't know what this is. Following it. Who is this show? Trying to get an attribution here. This conversation about a story that the CIA allegedly buried.
Hold on. I'm sorry. The CIA 50 years ago knew that there was evidence that taking an anti-parasitic like ivermectin could reduce tumors, and they classified it and hid it?
Correct. It was a Soviet study. These Soviet scientists found that both tumors and parasites and these anti-parasitics exerted similar mechanisms, and they found that it exerted anti-cancer activity in animals. And that study was classified by the CIA in the 50s and not declassified until 2011. So, you know, that did significantly set back some of this vital cancer research.
Hold on.
That's the claim. Go to cisa.gov/rumor control, who.int, and cdc.gov. This is what I have to do at under threat at YouTube, Google. In order to keep my monetization, speaking of, please consider donating a Rumble rant or a super chat if you're enjoying your time here as we discuss the news. We'll be live tonight on Strictly Football for round 1 of the NFL draft. I will be there. That's what I know. And a lot of people are invited to bounce in, bounce out. But I'm going to be hanging out. I hope you hang out too. All right, let's take these countervailing views off here. You get it. That's the claim about what the CIA has been up to. RT put this out. This is, they just got David Wilcock too. Someone said in the comment. Isaac Cappy complained before his so-called event of direct weapons targeting his car with extremely loud music where him and his passenger couldn't concentrate or drive. She D'd last year and was making videos trying to tell us what was happening to her, but no one listened until they took her out. More scientists going missing. What is this? Video surfaces of anti-gravity researcher claiming direct energy weapon targeted her just 1 month before her D.
My hands have been burned to hell and back as I've been typing. Because you can beam me through there and through there. And you can get a 3D image of what I'm typing. Because this computer doesn't have a Wi-Fi card. You can't hack it. But you can maybe get a 3D image of me typing. So like we just did that. And did that as an act of pure desperation. And guess what? I feel better immediately. Like, my hands still burn because there's damage. But it's like my body relaxed when we barricaded the shit. And it was like, oh, like relief. Like immediately.
And people often wondered if Andrew Breitbart was taken
Two more science
remotely as well. All right. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Thanks for being here on the on the TNAM Daily Show here at the New American Media. So the SPLC story, just a reminder, this was all part of the operation. They were all in on it together. This is what they were yelling in front of all their lying cameras after framing President Trump and MAGA supporters.
Close your eyes.
SPLC.
And remember what you saw. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists,
SPLC actors,
and the KKK coming out of the fields with torches lighted, veins bulging,
pockets full of SPLC
chanting
money.
the same anti-Semitic bile heard across Europe in the 30s.
And then don't forget a woe is me story.
It was hate on the march.
It was hate on the march, and the SPLC was behind it. Because our Democrats put it together so that we could film it and put it out there as if this was the real America. That's why I ran for president. It's vile. I couldn't take it. Veins bulging.
In the open, in America, hate never goes away.
It goes to Hollywood. It goes to the SPA, the ASPA, the SOS, you know the thing, the ASPCA, the Society for the, you know the thing.
It only hides. And when it's given oxygen, when it's given an opportunity to spread, when it's treated as normal and acceptable behavior, we've opened a door in this country that we must move quickly to close. As president, that's just what I will do. I will send a clear, unequivocal message to the entire nation. There is no place for hate in America.
SPLC. Funding it, creating it. Todd Blanche, acting U.S.
What about Charlottesville and the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally?
Yeah,
Were they involved in that?
Yes. So what we allege in the indictment and what the grand jury found is that one of the
acting U.S. Attorney General,
the individuals that they paid was one of the folks who helped organize that terrible event. And so so imagine what we're talking about, Laura. We're talking about an organization that actively came out and just screamed it from the top of their lungs.
So just so people understand watching this, did these informants in some cases, given the evidence you've seen, actually initiate what would ultimately be these activities? And obviously Charlottesville ended with a tragedy.
Well, we know that they were part of those. They were part of it. Whether they were the leaders or the initiators, that'll come out, I think, eventually. But what we do know is that the very entities that this group was raising money to go against are the very entities that they were taking the money in and paying to these entities and these individuals associated with those groups.
What was the money used for?
Well, we don't know, because again, all we know is that they set up these fictitious bank accounts.
Fake names, like the Constitution Group or whatever it was called. Then they had one called Fox Photography.
Right, completely fictitious as far as the investigation has shown, and they were using it simply to funnel money to these individuals. The indictment talks about a situation where they paid an individual to steal documents from the organization and then return the documents, and then when somebody else took the hit for it, they paid that person too. To take the hit for that. And so
keep your eyes peeled on the SPLC. I think it's going to be an important story. I think it already is. Been indicted. Check out yesterday's show about David Wilcock, another dead UFO specialist. And of course, the breakdown of SPLC faking Charlottesville. Well, paying the actors, you know. Representative Jim Jordan says, all right, let's break it down. SPLC equals fraud. Act Blue equals fraud. California Medicare equals fraud. Minnesota daycare equals fraud. Fire aid equals fraud. What's next? This from, look, here's an art. Here's a video clip from Nick Sorter. Says RFK Jr. just showed America that Senator Warnock, the Democrat from Georgia, he's an absolute dope. Take a look at this one. Here it is. Jamie, can you hit play on the video?
Well, I think one person manning that office full time probably can handle that traffic.
One person full time can probably handle that traffic. Wait, why did it pick in at 22 seconds? I didn't click play yet. Okay, I was going to give you the background. I was going to give you the background story, but I figured it was self-explanatory. I didn't account on Twitter X playing this video without me pressing play. I didn't intend for that to happen. Let's reset it, Jamie.
Gutting the very offices that keep American families safe from disturbing and deadly infectious diseases.
Senator,
sir, hold on, sir.
Senator, there's 1 to 3 rabies cases a year.
1 to 3 rabies cases a year. That's all we're talking about.
In the United States. I think one person manning that office full time probably can handle that traffic. In terms of prion disease, it's very, very rare.
I've been gutting the very offices.
Gutting the very offices. He's like, no, we can recalibrate. Okay, Wall Street Mavs gives us this. The CIA asset, some say that's unfair. I do not. Abigail Spanberger, you do not dislike her enough. Announcing a full 50-state redistricting plan for when Democrats take the House. Oh boy, this is why you never vote Democrat anywhere ever.
Do you worry that states, districts all over the country now will just go tit for tat trying to do this? Not every 10 years, but whenever they feel the need.
I certainly think that that is a fair concern, which is why absolutely when Democrats take a majority in the House of Representatives, my hope and expectation will be that there will be serious conversations about redistricting reforms and the process by which all 50 states will take on redistricting efforts. But I think essential to the conversation, as I mentioned in Virginia, was our commitment to our bipartisan commission. And so I think it's important that every step
You took
along
away
the
your
way,
bipartisan commission. You destroyed your bipartisan commission. Man, these people lie to you. They whiz on your leg and tell you it's raining. My God.
Our commitment to our bipartisan commission.
Lie.
And so I think it's important that every step along the
You
way,
lie.
we weren't saying, okay, this is the new normal of this kind of tit for tat. We were saying at this moment, we are taking a responsive and temporary step. And
there's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program. No, you throw that word out, that word is not allowed. If you change something, it's changed permanently unless... No, it's a permanent change. You want to permanently change it back? You can talk to me about that word when it happens. Otherwise, I don't believe it a single time. I don't want to listen to it. Don't want to read it. I'm not engaging with it. It's a lie.
Normal of this kind of tit for tat. We were saying...
No, this tit for tat that you and your Democrats, your deep state Democrats and RINOs have been using to recalibrate the will of the American people for far too long. You have way too much control, and that's being changed. She doesn't like it, so she recalibrates her state. But then Florida can't do that. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so destructive.
At this moment, we are taking a responsive and temporary step, and we in the Commonwealth of Virginia are committed to getting back to that bipartisan commission.
And by the way, what is this waiting, the people who voted against this redistricting, this gerrymandering, this theft of representation, taxation without representation? The stories were that this was leading most of the night, and they just waited until the last minute. Then they had a big dump at once to make sure just by like 2%. We barely got it. But trust me, we had just enough votes in these big blue cities.
So I think that was an essential part of the discussion here.
Do you worry?
All right. Vote against Democrats. Republicans are too spineless to fight and win, says Wall Street Mav. She can say these things out loud now because she won twice, and Democrats have seen how even with a trifecta, Republicans are too spineless to fight and win. Seth Dillon says the discredited, scandal-ridden smear factory known as the SPLC is about to publish a hit piece doxing several of our not the B writers who wish to remain anonymous so they could speak freely without fear. The SPLC extracted sensitive information from our site, then used that information to contact our writers directly. I've included a screenshot of one of these emails below. We're determining how they obtained this information, but we already know why they went digging for it. They did it because they're left-wing activists masquerading as journalists, because they lack principles, because they're vindictive bullies who admitted their aim is to completely destroy individuals and organizations they disagree with by making them pay a steep price for speaking freely. Fuck you. That is exactly what they did to the new American media. It is exactly what they did to destroy the new American media. As a public figure, I've been attacked many times. It comes with the territory, and I'll accept that. What I won't accept is the doxing and smearing of our staff because they said some things the SPLC doesn't like. For more info on why the SPLC is utterly corrupt and untrustworthy, check out my book, Making Hate Pay, The Corruption of the Southern Poverty Law Center. I'll share that. Non-endorsement, haven't read it, but get that word out. A criminal organization they are, says Elon. Michael Holstrom says that Ilhan Omar's sham winery LLC was dissolved 9 days after her updated disclosures. Ask Grok, is that true? I don't know, Michael Holmstrom. Yes. Est CRU LLC. Filed for the LLC on April 4, 2026. A certificate of cancellation formed April 4th. Okay. Lauren, a DHS employee, was emmed during a K-ing spree by Ola Olukitan Adanabel, a convicted Nigerian criminal who was given citizenship under Biden. Adanabel was also reportedly responsible for K-ing a second individual that same day and severely injuring another. Democrats have blood on their hands. Lauren Bullis. Do we know her story? I don't know that I've shared this story. She was walking her dog in Atlanta. Oh, here's the report. You don't hate the Democrats enough for what they've done. Oh, she was a Department of Homeland Security employee and a medalist of what? Homeland Security put it out from April 15th. I haven't really covered this one yet.
All three shootings were random, and they believed if they did not catch him today, he would have killed again.
It is apparent to us that this was a completely random attack.
Unsettling and scary words from Brookhaven Police Chief Brandon Gurley Monday night as he outlines the horrific details from a string of shootings early Monday morning. Police say 26-year-old Ola Olukatan Adon Adel is the man behind 3 different shootings in DeKalb County. 2 women are dead. 1 man is in critical condition.
In Brookhaven, he's been charged with aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. What we know now is that this individual was involved in an incident in DeKalb County, followed by an incident in Brookhaven, and later another incident in DeKalb County.
So here's the timeline. It all started around 12:50 Monday morning when DeKalb County police found a woman shot multiple times outside the Checkers on Wesley Chapel Road. She died from her injuries. Then almost 2 hours later, Brookhaven police responded to this Kroger on Peachtree Road to a 49-year-old man shot multiple times while sleeping outside the shopping center. He's in critical condition. And the third shooting happened 4 hours later around 6:50 on Battle Forest Drive. The DeKalb County police found 40-year-old Lauren Bullis shot and stabbed. She died. Fox 5 talked to a witness at the scene.
I looked across the street. It was a lady laying down and a man over her. So
Oh, he SA'd her too. I did cover this. And she went out and he took off. But he was also desecrating her as well.
I'm running.
Another.
And my daughter's like, no. I get back because we heard shooting. But my instinct was to try to do what I could do to help her. And so after that, we kind of look at each other. He took off going up the street.
Police said they tracked the silver Volkswagen Jetta Abel was driving with flock cameras. Georgia Department of Public Safety pulled him over in Troup County. And police said outside of those flock cameras, they were able to use another tool to help catch him. I'm working on that part of the story. All new tonight at 11. We're live at the Brookhaven Police Department tonight. I'm Larry Sproul, Fox 5 News.
All right.
Not getting all that much attention.
We'll see you on the edge, Larry. Thank you. Adele is no stranger to Georgia law enforcement, according to Chatham County court records.
You're inappropriately grabbing 4 women and you're not from this country. How about leave? How about go to jail? Man with same name arrested. That is vague. 120 days in jail plus probation. Mental health eval.
A man with the same name was arrested about...
We're not harsh enough. Ma'am. No longer a clean random attack story. All right. Walking her dog, brutally shot and stabbed, and then abused. Ard. Okay. Seth Keschel says, hey, imagine you play poker with the same group of friends. It's a good thought experiment here. Imagine you play poker with the same group of friends, and every time you plop down a 3 of a kind, you have one friend who goes to take a leak. He's gone for a few minutes and then comes back to plop down a higher 3 of a kind every time. Would you accept this outcome without questioning it? So it is with states that have one mega county that withholds its vote reporting until it's clear what margin is needed to win. Americans should expect to have elections in which transparency is afforded. You're talking about Fairfax County. Aaron Siri, who is this? Saying there's internal guidance concerning shots and medications for newborns, telling Kaiser employees that the approach to how we introduce and administer routine newborn Hep B vaccine is to avoid saying it's optional or that you can refuse unless directly asked, and to tell parents that we will be giving instead of asking consent to give. Holy shit. This is the antithesis of informed consent, yet Kaiser calls it excellent patient and family care. That's a huge accusation from Aaron Siri. Breaking, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals blocks Gavin Newsom's new law requiring federal agents such as ICE to unmask and ID themselves, citing it violates the supremacy clause of the Constitution, according to Libs of TikTok. Also, they're reporting Bexar County, Texas Judge Rosie Speedlin Gonzalez has resigned following charges for illegally handcuffing an attorney and locking him in a jury box. The charges have now been dropped. So charges dropped because this person resigned. Rosie was celebrated as the first openly gay judge to be elected in Bexar County. You want to see an ad from the Southern Poverty Law Center listing 10 ways to stop hate in America? Mays shared this video. And it sure looks like the photo brochure paid for and created by the SPLC so you could get the ad campaign together. They actually show photos of the paid agitators they were funding. Turns out the best way to stop hate is to stop funding the SPLC. Oh, there's music. What can we do to stop hate in America? People they paid. 10 ways to fight.
Ways to fight hate. 1. Act in the face of hatred.
Anyway, they're using their own propaganda that they created. You get it. Gunther Eagleman says South Africa should be sanctioned and shunned by the world. Designated an apartheid state and is sanctioned into oblivion. Saying South Africa, responding, calling it racist. Elon says 100%. If South Africa doesn't change its super racist apartheid 2.0 laws, the country must be sanctioned. Did I break this down yet? What happened with the Virginia redistrict and where we're at now?
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger celebrating the win in yesterday's redistricting vote. Voters narrowly approving a new pro-Democrat congressional map in a controversial referendum that critics have slammed as a, quote, power grab. The outcome threatens the already very tight Republican House majority. Mark Meredith is live in Alexandria, Virginia with more on this. And Mark, that vote ended up pretty narrow.
So now Virginia Circuit Court rules it unconstitutional, issued an injunction blocking the results from being certified per Ken Cuccinelli. It's big and it's not over yet. Tim Burchett says we have lost our almost non-existent will to fight. Kyle Becker says it's because many of your colleagues are blackmailed or getting rich, or they will be rich by being sellouts. They care more about their self-aggrandizement more than the future of a once great nation. It's one big uniparty, and we're not in it. Princess says it's almost like Republicans hate winning. They like being in the minority. I'm tired of losers. Next one. Why bother voting Republican? Even in the majority, they lack the courage to act on their constituents' behalf. Performative letters, outrage tweets, pronouncements. It's all theater. Meanwhile, the Democrats are setting up for one-party authoritarian rule. This will not end well. Change. Christian Collins says when Texas redistricted its maps, Hakeem Jeffries claimed it was a GOP effort to steal the midterm elections. When Virginia's redistricting plan gives Democrats 90% of the power, he claims it's a victory for democracy. Hakeem is the worst kind of politician. Ilhan Omar confronted by Allison Steinberg.
Congresswoman Omar, the last time I spoke to you, you said that I was stupid for asking you about your financial disclosure, but there's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on it? So you think you're stupid for asking me anything? I am? Yes. Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big mistake?
She said you're stupid for asking me anything? Oh, you don't dislike this lady enough.
Discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on it? So you think you're stupid for asking me anything? I am? Yes. Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big mistake? I have explained to the American people. What's the explanation? I have given them the explanation. Do you want to tell our viewers? Because I don't want to tell you jack shit. Oh. How about that? Okay. Okay. Have a good day. Thank you, Congresswoman.
Can we get these indictments? There should be like 1,000. It's nice that there's one, but like, where are the other 999? Like Leon says, Trump is the only one fighting for us, just like last time. Sad, sad, sad. Sort of feels like that. Austin Allred says, think about how crazy you'd sound a decade ago if you said, there's a secret pedo island where the global elite go to abuse underage kids. The government is funding research of a virus that will kill millions, and anti-hate nonprofits are literally funding the KKK. You'd be right. Salty Goat says, y'all remember these losers? He kept saying the Patriot Front was either paid for or feds. Yeah, the SPLC was paying for these assets. SPLC funded allegedly. Andrew Colvett says SPLC revenue before Charlottesville, $51,000. SPLC revenue after Charlottesville, $133,000. Yeah, 3 times, more than 3 times. Roughly 3 times. The SPLC paid $270,000 to a Unite the Right rally leader. The hate grift in a single image. They said it's up 81%. But that's, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 150. I read it as 150. Okay. 81% increase. Babylon B says, party that promised to save America announces it's not really interested in saving America anymore. That's John Thune, everybody. That's what he's giving us. Kevin Dalton says, Gavin Newsom's wife, who for unknown reasons is speaking at this Earth Day press conference. All in the span of about 9 seconds, says all of this stuff.
Good morning and happy Earth Day. Feliz Día de la Tierra. Today we reflect on our shared home, something so meaningful and yet so often taken for granted and increasingly fragile. Earth Day reminds us not only to celebrate this land, but to protect California's unparalleled natural beauty, rich cultural and historical resources. It is said that California is a place where you can see the whole world in a single day.
This is Gavin Newsom's wife.
From the high Sierras to our pristine deserts.
She's been deployed. I don't think this is helping them. And by the way, she needs a new haircut. She cannot keep her hands out of her hair.
To the San Joaquin River Parkway, the Golden State encompasses landscapes that deserve to be experienced and preserved for generations to come. For me, these places have always been deeply personal. As a girl, nature was my sanctuary, helping me to heal from a horrific accident. And now it's also a sanctuary for the...
That was where she K'd her sister.
Governors and my kids. It's why we made a home near the American River, so our kids could experience the healing power of the outdoors. And so it's not surprising that to this day, once my kids enter a state park or a national park, it's really challenging to get them to leave. In fact, Dutch is still inquiring when we're going to return to Yosemite.
Yeah. Oh, within about 9 seconds, she mentions the $1 million home they can somehow afford in Kentfield, and that she accidentally K'd her sister. Happy Earth Day. What? What even is this? Matt Walsh wants to tell you what the SPLC story is about. It's important.
Now, it's the kind of strategy that's effective because unless you're extremely familiar with how depraved left-wing activists are, it would never occur to you that they're doing any of this.
Right.
But they feel a need to do it because otherwise there would be no right-wing hate groups. If the SPLC did not fund them, they would not exist. And then Democrats would lose power and the SPLC would run out of money. Now, it's the same reason that your antivirus software bugs you all the time. If your antivirus software told you the truth, which is that you really don't need to pay for antivirus software anymore, then obviously nobody would subscribe. So instead, they pester you with fake threats and scare tactics. And it's kind of the same principle, except in the case of the SPLC, they were having a substantial effect on American politics. Now, the more you read this indictment, the more you realize how shameless it was. According to the DOJ, the SPLC was paying the same Klan members that it was complaining about by name on its website. So I got to say, as an aside, I'm starting to get a little frustrated because, again, I was also listed on their website of extremists. They put me on the list. They had my photo up and everything, and I was on their hate map as somebody who absolutely must be stopped. And yet, for all of this, I wasn't paid a single cent at any point. I served as general hate without any compensation whatsoever. Meanwhile, the KKK wizards were just like raking it in. Now, of course, all kidding aside, SPLC was not offering money to genuine conservatives who are effective at advancing conservatism. The idea was to fund and prop up the alleged right-wingers who were useful to SPLC and the left. And I suspect that soon, whether through this investigation or those to come, we're gonna find out that there are a fair number of alleged conservative figures, the most embarrassing and ridiculous ones, who've been getting paid by the forces they pretend to oppose. You know, there's a symbiotic relationship between left-wing activist groups and the supposedly right-wing grifters. And this relationship has always been obvious. Now we're learning about its financial dimensions.
Okay. It's a very important angle to consider there. Now we got a few people on payroll. What about the other people on payroll? What do we know about them? Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. More will be revealed soon, he suspects. Melanie King, I don't know who this is. Shares this story. Who put this out? Fox News. James Tony Mofata and his family died in a Mooney M20 crash in South Carolina as the cause remains under investigation. This is an aerospace defense engineer, military veteran killed in a plane crash with his family. Anything suspicious about that? NASA coordinating with relevant agencies and missing scientist probe. Went down on Friday, April 17. Another NASA scientist dead and his entire family in a plane crash. Not even trying to hide it. They are being taken out for what they know or what they were going to leak. Which one do you think it is? It could be other options, but were they going to leak something, or is it because of what they know and they would have contradicted something coming? Jack Posobiec says we are now only one step away from confirming that January 6th was staged. Sean Fucht here sharing this, that, well, they're talking about the reality for Nigerian Christians being attacked by Islamists. It's awful. It needs to be stopped. Watch that report. The lone raccoon here mentions an F curve where it goes up, 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 up at 8:59, preceded by a near F curve at 8:43. 2 updates wiped away would have been a decent lead for no redistricting in Virginia. Interestingly, at 9:16, there was another big jump for yes. So check out the raw data in this post and tell us in the comments what you think. Was Virginia one of the most reliable vote manufacturing hubs? Most of the votes from all 3 of these that overturned the will of the people came from Fairfax County, one of the Virginia's most reliable vote manufacturing hubs. Dig in. Jim Jordan says if someone fires their entire fraud prevention team and weakens policies meant to catch fraud, what do you think is going on? We asked Act Blue under oath, and they pled the 5th. 146 times. Act Blue might be next. Dr. Sidney Watson says it's genuinely effing hilarious that there's so little white supremacy in the United States that the SPLC had to pay to create it so they could fight it. Dr. Sidney Watson. Very important doctor. California hits a new low today, says MJ Truth Ultra. Take a look at this report.
You'd be amazed at how many hospices the door you can walk up to in California, and there is nobody there. There is 5 months worth of mail that you can see stacked up from CMS, and nobody's there. And that passed a survey. How did that happen? How do you put a hospice in a burrito stand in California? How do you put a hospice in a tire store in California? That all had to be vetted through licensure and through certification and accreditation. You'd be amazed at how many hospices the door you can walk up to in California, and there is nobody there.
All over the place. Burrito stands. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat, Connecticut, privately met with Iranian Javad Zarif, FM, is that foreign minister, and other regime officials, confirmed with a Medium post saying it was important to talk to adversaries since the Trump admin cut diplomatic channels. Reports called it secret because it lacked prior State Department awareness. No Logan Act charges filed. Whether it equals collusion like the Russia probe is a political judgment. Sources across the spectrum confirm that this meeting happened. Chris Murphy, lover of Maryland man, by the way. Axios report that DeSantis is considering, maybe not interested, the AG job, the Attorney General. Interested maybe in War Secretary or the Supreme Court, which would be his dream job. Maybe he's very close with Clarence Thomas. DeSantis on the Supreme Court would be huge. Now you've heard that rumor. Rumor mill in overdrive. After years of trying to bait them into a feud, the ultimate move would be putting the Gator from the Everglades on the bench for a lifetime appointment. Solid 30-year legacy, track record of dismantling administrative state. Doesn't fold under pressure. Don't forget he's the man that took on Disney and won. The left would be apoplectic. Justice DeSantis for the next 3 decades. Imagine the Trump derangement syndrome short-circuiting, and it could happen. Trump 2.0 just might be wearing a black robe soon. Stay tuned. Jamie responded to Jonathan Turley about Virginia judge blocking the state from certifying the results of the congressional map redraw. Call it unlawful. Jamie says, you mean Democrats will literally do anything to retake power? Meanwhile, John Thune and Mitch McConnell are hanging on to their norms like it's still 1988. Todd Zawicki, John, I can't find the opinion, but it looks like a pretty good summary of the reasoning. Pretty straightforward. I'm surprised that this issue wasn't raised before the amendment was certified for the ballot. So there's a whole Hill article here to check out. This Texas mom has to deal with her school to get her kid's phone back.
My 6th grader got caught with his phone this afternoon. They brought it to the office.
told him I had to come pick it up after school, so I did that, and then they proceeded to tell me that I had to pay $15 to get this back via Cash App. What? Like, imagine how much money they're making off people like me and my fucking son.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing they're not allowed to have the phone in school, and if they sneak it in and they're punished, well, it's a way to punish both the parent and the kid. I don't know. Not entirely against it. Variety reporting this Daryl Sheets, who was on 163 episodes of the popular A&E series Storage Wars, has passed away at age 67. They're saying police are calling it a apparent self-inflicted wound to the head. He was running an antique store. 2 higher profile stories of people checking out on their own. Flapper put this meme together. All right, hear me out. We pay people to be racist so we can fight racism. Their scam worked for decades, says Elon. Latin America is now aging faster than any region in the world. Chile has a lower birth rate than even Japan. What is going on? Elon says the collective suicide of humanity needs to turn around. Here's a map about illegal aliens entering the European Union by year. Look at this. An absolute invasion since 2008. That was the beginning of Obama. 12 million illegal aliens invading Europe. Look at this. Lake Leon, not a fan of Ron DeSantis, calls him another bobblehead for SCOTUS. No thanks. Every blip in this animation represents 100 people. Would you look at this? My God. Shiloh Marks, founder and president of Integrity First Alliance, says Virginia had 1.7 million duplicate voter registrations. Virginia reported removing 0 of these duplicate registrations. Is this true? A million duplicates? Yes, the core numbers from the post are accurate, but interpretation is misleading and it does overstate the issue. So, kind of, sort of. Steve Ferguson wonders what will happen when it's proven that Biden was installed illegitimately. Vince Langman says, raise your hand if you knew this was a false flag operation from the moment you noticed the matching goofy costumes from Old Navy. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Gina Milan shared this. George and Amal Clooney donated $1 million to the SPLC 10 days after the Charlottesville attacks. I need more context. Why can't I just ask Grok here? What are we doing? Did they donate $1 million right after Charlottesville? Why do you need more context? Pretty straightforward question. Yes. 10 days after. Donated $1 million. Okay, thanks for confirming. Senator Ed Markey is calling to abolish ICE.
Battle over ICE. I believe, so we're still going to have a big battle over ICE. I believe ICE should be defunded. I don't think
ICE should be defunded. I believe ICE should be defunded.
I believe ICE should be defunded.
This is Senator Ed Markey.
I don't think that ICE is any longer capable of existing because it is so corrupt at its core. But we still have to have that debate. So we're still going to have a...
They're not capable of existing. Abolishing ICE protects criminals, not Americans. Democrats don't care about your safety, says RNC research. But here's Senator Patty Murray. Don't believe your lying eyes and ears.
I have not heard one Democrat say defund ICE.
Yeah.
What I have heard every single Democrat
So we just played you that one.
I have not heard one Democrat say defund ICE.
Yeah.
What I have heard every single Democrat repeatedly say, when you fund ICE agents, then make sure they have training, make sure they have warrants, make sure they act like law enforcers, and have the ability to have the trust of the American people. That's what we're asking for.
Explain. Yeah, incorrect. We just played it for you. Round Rock Independent School District. High school libraries are stocking the Quran while the Holy Bible has been removed. That according to Dr. Mary Bone, advocate for K-12 education in Texas. Amy Meck calls it the Islamization of Texas raging on. They're also arresting Christian fathers in handcuffs for daring to speak at school board meetings, she claims. We're watching the fall of red states across America. We do not have more time to waste, she claims. Alex Jones says for the first time ever, President Trump just attacked the heart of the deep state. If there's one person that can explain to you just how bad the Southern Poverty Law Center is, it's this guy.
I've said this thousands of times. I want to be a cheerleader for Kash Patel. I want to be a cheerleader for Todd Blanche. I want to believe in Trump. I want to see the deep state indicted. And I've been on there 32 years, and my wheelhouse has been the Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL running the KKK, the Aryan nations, all of them. It's come out. They got caught in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s doing it. It is well documented. Randy Weaver wouldn't work for him, and so they killed his wife and everything. Todd Blanche and Kash Patel, 11 indictments today. So I'm going to call balls and strikes. People say, wait, you're mad at them. You say they're bad. Well, yeah, because I've seen a bunch of past bad behavior. I call balls and strikes. I just saw this news, went and read.
You can say positive and negative things.
All the articles in the indictment. I had a freaking political orgasm. Yes. Yes. More, please. Because the needle's been going towards bad with Trump. This kind of moved it back some. Please, more. You talk about going after deep state. The Southern Poverty Law Center has like $1 billion in the Bahamas. They're run by like NATO intelligence. And you saw Charlottesville and all that crap they ran. That was them. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing. Let me tell you something. I mean, you want to strike at the heart of the globalist deep state and the left controlling the different radical groups on the left and right. I mean, this is it. I am beside myself with excitement right now, and I just want to see more of this. God, can I just see some more good news? Can I see the Clintons indicted? Can I see the Crossfire Hurricane people indicted? Can I just see that? Please, please. I mean, I want to believe. I want Trump to succeed. I wanted the Iran war to succeed. I said, when it started March 1st, I said, I don't think it's going to work, but God, if it did, great. Not for the mullahs. So right when I'm done, something like this happens. My face not restored, but it kind of moved the needle back a little bit. So, wow. Because, I mean, it's like cut and dry. The Southern Poverty Law Center, the lawyers, everybody involved, the witnesses, everybody in the Oklahoma City bombing, the survivors, the cops, the FBI, all of them, the former head of the FBI crime lab, I've interviewed them all. I cut my teeth on this. I was been on there about a year when Oklahoma City happened. The Democratic Party, Eric Holder, all of them, they bombed that building. And the Southern Poverty Law Center ran Elohim City, the white supremacist compound, and did the whole deal and set up McVeigh, who was a patsy because he refused to bomb a daycare center, so they set him up. I mean, that was Southern Poverty Law Center. They infiltrated our offices a few years ago, their operatives. Jacked into our security cameras, everything. Didn't catch us anything. There was nothing going on, but they still put it out. I mean, you want to strike at the deep state leftist New World Order, this is it.
That matches the pattern.
So I am just beside myself with how huge this is. The Southern Poverty Law Center ran the Oklahoma City bombing, folks. It's the heart of the globalist, heart of the Democratic Party. This is amazing. More, Please let the nightmare end. Please let Trump get back on track. Please. I am impressed. My faith not restored, but I'm starting to pay attention. What do you think? Comments below.
All right. For more than 30 years, Alex Jones exposed the fact that the SPLC runs every white supremacist organization in North America, and it's funded by NATO intelligence, German intelligence, and MI6. And the SPLC backed a lawsuit against Alex in 2018 after publicly stating the SPLC and the Democrat Party had their fingerprints all over the Charlottesville riot.
And they're about to have more of the Antifa go out. This is to embolden the Antifa to come out of their rat holes, to spill out like just fountains of roaches, to then spill out, attack more, and the media will cover it up, and then when there's a response, they'll, oh my God, after years of killing white people and beating them and murdering them, a few people went and protested, so the Southern Poverty Law Center or others sent other people out in KKK outfits, and God Almighty, what are we going to do? And then they march everyone through the gauntlet to be beat up to start the whole thing. Because they've done it over and over and over again because they think you're stupid. Are you part of any foundations? Have you ever worked for the feds? Were you part of Occupy? Were you an Obama supporter?
At one time, I supported Obama. I regret it now.
A grand jury returned an 11-count indictment charging the Southern Poverty Law Center with 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. According to the charges in the indictment, the SPLC is a nonprofit entity that purports to fight white supremacy and racial hatred by reporting on extremist groups and conducting research to inform law enforcement groups with the goal of dismantling these groups. As the indictment describes, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred. The indictment describes this conduct in detail, but one troubling example is that the SPLC was paying a member of the leadership group that planned the Unite the Right protest in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017 that resulted in the death of 1 person and injured dozens more. This particular person being paid by the SPLC allegedly received approximately $270,000 over the course of 8 years.
270 over 8 years? Oh, so it's stretched out for a long time.
They had to have this victory. So they get the Southern Poverty Law Center, who's been caught doing this before, to come in, get a few people from Central Casting, actors, and dress up, like the white supremacists. There's a Unify the Right thing, don't be racist event coming up, but also saying support history. They'll want to get rid of Thomas Jefferson statues next, which they now want to do, and get rid of the American flag next.
And
There's more slaves on the American flag than there ever was on the Confederate. That's a fact. You see in the news they're doing that. Ninth Circuit banned the American flag on the West Coast in school. So they're there, but then, leading their march ahead of them is a group of 50 guys with torches saying Heil Hitler. See? Then they've got all the Antifa bust in by Soros and everybody. They're ready then, and the police kettle the normal conservatives, march them through, let them get beaten up for the psyop of the image of conservatives getting beat up and Antifa being victorious.
The Angelas and Scorpions.
And so now they're going, God, our people won't show up anywhere. They're become demoralized. They admit they're demoralized. We want to overthrow Trump. We want to cause a civil war, which they admit on the news they want to do. What do? We start banning all conservatives, libertarians. We don't let them be online to communicate. It's like breaking in on somebody's phone conversation and you're not letting them talk, but it's done on Facebook, Google, you name it.
Yep.
And they said, we've got to now start
us
luring in the right wing into towns where we control everything, and then we can bring out right wing to represent them that are racist, to then trigger the groups we've got to attack them, and then have the police protect the attacking of the peaceful people.
Kind of similar to
then have a civil emergency declared, and then
very similar to J6, is it not?
It's all over the country. You can't have demonstrations anymore that are controversial because of what we saw happen here. Oh, let me explain. George Soros has funded all these racist minority groups to go around and do all this violence and kill cops and kill white people and beat them up to stir up white people. Then it gets led by a bunch of foundation controllers to have a clash. The police cordon the regular protesters and march people in to attack them. Gavin McInnes got beat up and pepper sprayed at this. He's just a free speech guy. He's a libertarian, the founder of Vice. But see, it's all about the conservatives getting beat up because they deserve it. Told you it was all coming, and it's just the beginning. And they're going to kill your president, and they're going to take your pension funds, and they're going to piss all over you like North Korea because they want to.
Is horrific.
We've been talking about it for years. It's a 17-minute report. I'll get you this far and peel away so we can wrap things up. Got to get ready for our show coming up in a few hours this evening, Strictly Football. We'll have our NFL draft live coverage. I believe we'll be live at 7. We'll get the show double-checked. Actually, I can pull it up now. The time the NFL draft begins. Shouldn't be this hard to click this many times. What time is the draft? Still doesn't show the time. Are you for real? I think it's 8 or 8:30. Anyway, we'll be live in a little bit talking about that. C3 says the RNC spent more money to get John Cornyn to win a Republican primary than they spent to stop the Democrats from making Virginia 10-1 in the House seats. We lost 4 House seats while they were funding a RINO. It tells you everything. Traitors. Election Wizard says, sorry, guys, in addition to failing to pass the Save America Act, the Senate GOP had to spend $100 million to save John Cornyn instead of pouring that cash into blocking the Democrats' power grab on Virginia redistricting. It's all about priorities. The persistence. This is a friendly reminder that Senator John Cornyn and Cornyn allies spent nearly $100 million in the Texas primary. For him, as a 24-year incumbent, to only come in first by 26,000 votes. Imagine if some of that money went into Virginia. Jake Sherman says there are a lot of Republicans in Washington tonight wondering why national GOP political organizations didn't spend more aggressively in Virginia. Scott Pressler, I think we should find out how that $100 million was spent for Cornyn's primary in Texas, and which consultants benefited from that massive amount of wasted cash that could have built voter registration operations in every swing state. Bad news. Officer Lou here says out of Memphis, Tennessee, remains of 3 young children, 3 and 7 years old, found in a vacant field in Hickory Hill. Skulls and bones. Anonymous caller reported possible skull near a wooded area, near a drainage pipe. Second skull inside the pipe. 14 additional bones. Not sure what's going on, but prayers to the families. Mike Lee has thoughts on John Thune.
The American people want the Save America Act. The swamp wants FISA 702 reauthorized without any meaningful reforms. The Senate is doing it exactly backwards. We've got to get back on the Save America Act. We've got to get it passed. And if one's going to take precedence over the other, it sure as heck shouldn't be the one that Americans hate and the DC swamp wants. Let's get back to work on the Save America Act. That's what the American people want.
Agree. Mike Lee is on top of it. Trash Panda saying it's 8 o'clock for the draft. So yes, thank you. Trash Panda, appreciate that. It was, that's why I said 7 o'clock. We will be live. I figured we'll go live an hour early, and we'll see who jumps in on our special show, breaking down who gets drafted where. Anna Paulina Luna just badly exposed John Thune in front of all America to see. Quote, just so America knows, after 2 weeks in recess, Thune is no longer considering the Save America Act. End quote. It's time to get loud, MAGA. Remove Thune, please. Here he is again.
Their largest refund in years. Money that is going toward paying down credit card debt, catching up on bills, padding saving accounts, or covering the cost of a vacation, end quote.
He says we may have other pressing stuff that's more important.
Money that is going toward paying down credit card debt, catching up on bills, padding savings accounts, or covering the cost of a vacation. Mr. President, that was our goal with this bill.
All right, whatever. Just pass it. This story's going around. You might hate to see this one. Turn away. It's a 28-second video. Shocking. A 14-year-old, well, I guess the races matter. A 14-year-old black boy stomps a 15-year-old white girl's head into the concrete. Allegedly, according to American Papa Bear, this is for saying no to taking his phone number, accusing New York City's woke family court of probably just going to just tap him on the wrist, give him a slap on the wrist. I don't know, but this story was going everywhere. And turn away if you don't want to see this. I don't want to see it. But people are talking about it.
I just gotta smack the shit out of you right now, right? Do it! No, you stand right here. You won't. No, you stand right here. You stand right here.
Well, no, it's because you're pussy.
That's because you're pussy.
There's multiple people ganging up on this person. Oh, I don't like this at all. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yo! Right? I just gotta smack the shit out of you right now, right?
Do it!
No, you stand right here.
You won't.
No, you stand right here. You stand right here.
Well, no, it's because you're pussy.
That's because you're pussy. Yo!
No!
Right?
She's concussed and in the hospital. Hang on. Suspect arrested and charged with second-degree assault. Due to his age, he faces proceedings in family court instead of adult criminal court. Concussed and hospitalized. New York Post. All right. This is a real story. This is current. Is this just happened? Published April 23rd today. According to police and sources, that's what this is about. This appears to be concussion taken by EMS to Harlem Hospital, stable condition. Family court? No. Put this person in adult court.
On a New York City street, all because she refused to give him her phone number.
All right. I'm good. I've seen enough of this one. Oh my God. I'm just going to chew on all the words that you're saying and the other kid laughing. All right. A couple other stories. President of the New Hampshire. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? It's a racist attack. It's a guy body slamming a girl. It's a black guy body slamming a white girl. Has there ever been a video in your lifetime of a white guy body slamming and cracking the head open of a black girl? Have you ever seen that video? Do you see these videos all the time scrolling through X now? White targets. But the SPLC wants to say the biggest problem in America is what? The hate groups that they have on payroll. That's the image they want you to see. That's the image they give you. And by the way, that creates a ton of the animosity that leads to shit like that you just saw. I'm just going to set that story aside for a second. It came out today. I'm just going to... We'll address that again in the coming shows. My God. Corey DeAngelis, school choice advocate, says the president of the New Hampshire chapter of Randy Weingarten's union admits that they're working with the World Economic Forum to create curriculum. New Hampshire Republicans are pushing a bill to ban globalist curriculum created by the World Economic Forum. This is breaking a couple hours ago. President Trump says, I have ordered the United States Navy to shoot and kill any boat, small boats though they may be. Their naval ships are all 159 of them at the bottom of the sea. That is putting mines in the waters of the Strait of Hormuz. There is no hesitation. Additionally, our mine sweepers are clearing the strait right now. I am hereby ordering that activity to continue, but at a tripled up level. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And of course, if you'd like to support the New American Media on Patreon, we are right there at the top of our X account. I was also informed that I need to check my messages. I almost missed this gem. Here we are, the TNAM Trash Pandas. We are a legitimate softball team, everybody. Inquire within. You want to join the best softball team on planet Earth? Join the TNAM Trash Pandas. I love this. Actually, how do I... TNAM Trash Pandas softball team. There we go. Thank you, John. Good. We'll end with that nice graphic because that last story was just, oh my goodness. Every day it's something. And every day we talk about it here on the New American Media. If you enjoyed your time here at the bar, sitting here while I've been working my shift is about done. So if we could wrap up our tabs, and if you want to tip anything, we're clocking out and switching staff. So if you want to toss anything into Patreon, sign up on a monthly, please do. We're the New American Media over there. You can do monthly subscriptions, Rumble, rants, and super chats on Rumble and YouTube. Definitely do the monthly so we can count on it, because the Rumble, the super chats right now on YouTube are down here and need to be up here. Rumble is a slightly different story, but we can at least count on Patreon because it's a reoccurring. The Rumble monthly subscription, we can count on that each month. So the bigger that number is, the more we can kind of know the lay of the land of what's coming in, what's going, and what needs to happen to handle certain things. But It's all appreciated. And we cover the news every day. We might as well do it together. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Come back in about 3.5 hours. We will be live at 7 o'clock for the NFL draft on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. It'll probably be strictly football with overlapping Strictly Browns. And, of course, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show is the mothership for that. So we'll be back in a few. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Peace out.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.